out of office. I really try to make sure that I set that. Having that out of office reply kind of takes that burden away. It's nice because I literally don't have all those notifications distracting me from what I need to do, because we lose so much time with those distractions, right?
Yeah. It's not about being busy all the time. It's not about always like chasing and hustling. Give yourself grace. Like, you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. There's going to be seasons of your life where it's going to be harder. Hey y'all, welcome back to Hot Tea with Umo and Bri. Today's episode is for every wellness, sport, fitness, entrepreneur, sports dietitian, fitness coach who is trying to do it all. Run a business, raise a family, and somehow still find time to breathe. And we're calling this one something special, y'all. Somebody's mama, somebody's CEO. Because we know that work-life balance isn't just some fluffy buzzword. It's survival. We're getting into what that really looks like for us individually, the boundaries, the systems, the burnout, because that's real, and how we're learning to protect our peace in all of this, one hard decision at a time. So let's get into it, Uma. Let's talk about it. Like,
this topic sits so heavy, always.
Yeah.
Work-life balance is first and foremost for all the listeners, hello, but it is something that is a constant pursuit. There's going to be ebbs and flows of feeling like, hey, things are a little bit more balanced than usual. And then there's going to be those unexpected and expected seasons of complete, like, what in the world's going on?
Yeah.
You feel like you're just trying to sometimes keep your head above water. And that is just the real deal when it comes to entrepreneurship. I can say for me, it was so much easier, right? Like, for starting a business, no kids, just married, living my best life, really kind of learning the ropes. And what's interesting, Bri, is that at the time for me, it was just like, okay, cool. I was laying down the foundation and getting all the hard parts out of the way before I start a family, because I'm gonna have it figured out. And then we finally decided to start a family. And it really wasn't until, like, for me, gosh, when my daughter really got moving, I had to chase her around and figure out, okay, where am I going to take her? Is she going to go to Mother's Day out? Is she going to go to daycare? When I really had to start making those decisions with my husband, that's when I really feel like things started getting rocky. And then fast forward to even today, right? So let me speak on today. Work-life balance is challenging because now I have 3 kids. And 2 of my oldest are playing sports. They are in extracurricular activities. I want to be there, but sometimes I also have to be, right? Lots of times actually, CEO, all the different commitments, right? Emails, phone calls, deadlines. Hey, close your computer at this time, no matter what. That is one of the most difficult things for me to do sometimes, you know? So boundaries are important, right? You have to set boundaries. You have to hold true to those boundaries, and you have to be willing to accept that people aren't going to understand those boundaries. What about
That's
you?
so
Like, how does that look
good.
like for you?
Oh my gosh. Just like you said, everybody goes through seasons where there are ebbs and flows. Like, you have seasons where you're like, oh yeah, I got this. Like, we're in a groove, we got everything is flowing. And then there are seasons where you're like, I can't breathe. What am I doing? Like, what happened to all the systems and things that I put in place? Like, they just gone out the window. And from my experience, I too, had that experience where it was like, without kids, and even prior to being married, it's like, okay, I've got free time. I can do what I want to do. I can set up things the way I want to set them up. But then, came marriage, then came the kids, and now I have number 3 on the way. So the season I'm in is preparing for maternity leave. And that has been, it's like you're preparing for that, but you also are still running a business, and you're also still, having to embark on new projects at work and be CEO and guide and hire. And then, just like you said, when that clock turns a certain time, I got to shut it down, right? Because I'm still homeschooling. So I have to carve out time for schooling for the kids. And then I can't forget my husband. So it's like, wait a minute, we got to talk today.
I know, that's right.
So it's the same. I feel the same thing. And, oftentimes just as women, I feel like we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves too to do it all
Oh
and
gosh.
not wanting to be, categorized as one thing. And that mom guilt can be,
Whew.
it's so real. And you don't
Yes.
really know it until you're in it because you might think,
Mhm.
oh, like, why do you feel guilty? Like, it doesn't matter what level of mom you are, like what you do, whether it's stay at home, work from home, work away from home. It does not matter. Like there's going to be some mom guilt. So you're juggling all of that while also still
Yes.
trying to like pour into your business.
Absolutely. The mom guilt is real. And yeah, we have this superwoman cape that we apparently wear 24/7, 365,
Mhm,
and don't even think, hey, we need to recharge too. It's like something we know, but for whatever reason, we just think push through, push through. What's one more
mhm.
task, right?
Yes,
What's one
yeah.
more? And then it becomes two more, five more, 10 more. So yeah, I mean, work-life balance is something I think that even as entrepreneurs, you figure it out. You live and you learn, you evolve, you start to really identify like, okay, what sucks the most energy out of me?
Yes.
Um, what are the cues and signs that I'm really starting to kind of, feel real fatigue and
Yeah.
non-productive, or even getting those little signs of burnout, right? And it's
Yeah.
important to acknowledge those feelings and do something about it right away.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you. That kind of goes into we can share a bit of like what that looks like for us and like how we got to this point. I know for me, I definitely had to let go of that concept of perfection and
Oof.
being like, oh, this person is doing that. I should be able to do that too, or like I can be perfect here and I can be perfect there. Well, the reality is like you're never going to be perfect. Like we're not made to be perfect. We're human. But if you can create some type of routine or rhythm, it can help
Mhm.
you stay more aligned with what's important to you. And that's something that I've
100%.
like hugely implemented, time blocking, rhythms, stuff like that, because I'm like, all right, I know that I've got to get this schoolwork done with these kids. So, is it going to be in the morning or is it going to be in the afternoon? Knowing that,
Yes.
okay, I'm also going to carve out this time for work because
Yeah.
I've got, I'm running a business. So, creating rhythms that work for me and my family help me to not feel like I'm abandoning one or the other, but saying, no,
Yeah.
I'm prioritizing these things. And
Absolutely.
when it's time to do these things, I got to do these things. So, rhythms have helped a lot for me. Systems at work. I know we talk about this a lot on the
Yeah.
pod, just like creating systems, automations, things like that, like
Yeah.
help a lot, especially once you've hired other people. Because if
Mhm.
you're spending a bunch of time trying to teach them how to do tasks, like that's just not efficient. And they
Right.
could, like they could easily be teaching themselves, or when you have automations in place that can help. But that can, that's hugely important. And then, understanding, you said it earlier, like you have to carve out time for rest. It's not like, oh, if I work this many days, I'm going to reward myself with a day off. Like, no,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you have to create time. And maybe that looks like, I know for me, I've tried to implement, having Sabbath on Sunday and like not
Yeah.
working on some Sunday. I came across this book called Sabbath Soup, where it's like, slow down, like prepare meals the day before and like all these different things
Yeah.
that you can put into place, but you can't see rest as a reward. It has to be something that is like a crucial part of your self-care and even like the ability to run a business, your business strategy, because
100%.
as a CEO, if you're not able to really pour into your business, then who's benefiting, right? At the end of the day.
100%. I mean, I couldn't agree more. It's like we're not Energizer bunnies. We are not created to keep going, going, going. I say
Mhm.
that all the time. I even tell myself that, hey, reminder,
Yep.
like turn it off. But yeah, like if we truly want to give everyone our best, our clients, our partners,
Mm,
like everyone, our
yeah.
children, our families, right? We have to recharge.
Mhm.
Um, and I'll be the first to say I have an amazing team, but they know. They know. My amazing team knows, okay, you know what? Yeah, she needs some chill time. And,
Yep.
one of the things that works for me is just letting them know, hey guys, like, did this for this upcoming weekend, right? Like, hey,
Mhm.
I'm not available until XYZ. Let me
Yeah.
know ahead of time if you need anything from me. Giving your team enough notice
Mhm.
is so it's appreciative for everybody involved,
Yeah.
right? It's like everybody appreciates it. So that's something that definitely works for me for my phone because as an entrepreneur, your phone, your devices are always firing, right?
Yep.
Notifications here, notifications there, important
Yep.
ones, maybe not so important ones. So
Yeah.
I have learned to put my devices on do not disturb, especially when I know I have carved out time to where I'm like, listen, I've got to get this deadline done. I've got to get this work done. And it's nice because I literally don't have all those notifications distracting me from what I need to do because we
Yep.
lose so much time with those distractions, right?
Yeah.
A
Yes.
little ping
Oh
here. Oh, let me go check that.
gosh.
Oh, let me go ahead and go to social media right quick. And then you next thing you
Girl.
know,
Oh my
that
gosh.
time that we put on our calendar is gone.
Yes.
So
Ah,
yeah, I'm all
oh
there
my
with you on
gosh.
those things. I agree with you on having a day to where you just like just whether it's a Sabbath day, whether it's just a day to just let your brain take a break. Some people
Yes,
like to watch
exactly.
silly shows.
Yep.
Um, shoot, do whatever type of hobby you have. Knitting, sewing, painting is so therapeutic.
Mhm.
I can't emphasize how important it is to figure out what that is for you so that
Yeah.
it's something that you look forward to as well.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. And just that point on like preparing your team because they're going to send you messages regardless sometimes. And it's like, well, wait a minute.
Yes.
Just reminding you I'm out of office today. Like, like, girl, wait. Like, that is so important.
It's
Like,
real.
it
It's
is
real.
real, because, but it's, see, and that's the other thing too with people having people that work for you. Like, 9 times out of 10, if they're out of office, they're not going to reply to you about anything. Like, they're not going to reply. Like, they're
No.
probably not going to check anything, which is to be expected, right? So, on the
Mhm.
flip side, we do have to remember, like, even though we're owners and CEOs and all these things, it's okay to not respond. And like, it's okay to block off the time that you need to block off. Google Calendar is really great for that. Like, so we use Google Workspace
Yeah.
and we'll put our out of office on the calendar and it'll
Mhm.
show up in the Google chats, which is
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
if you're considering some tech, Google Workspace is awesome with that. I'm sure Zoom Workspace does something
Yeah.
similar
Zoom
too.
Workspace is the exact same way. Yep.
Gosh, game changer because then it alerts them and you don't have to tell them you're out of office. The
Right.
technology tells them, like, hey, sis, your
Right.
CEO is not here today, please refer to someone else, so having that
Absolutely.
in place is so important. So I think that kind of takes us into like some tools that maybe
Yes.
help us to protect our peace. So I'm going to shoot it over to you. Like, what are some like have to haves for you when it comes to setting up systems and really keeping the peace?
Keeping the peace. You already talked about, mentioned what we use. So Zoom Workspace is very, very amazing for my team just because we can communicate directly with each other. We can communicate through different channels, similar to what Slack has.
Mhm.
It's all HIPAA compliant. Everything, all communication I do with my team goes through that platform.
Yeah.
It's to the point to where we hardly even email.
Yeah.
so that's really important. I think too for me, always putting my or trying, okay, listen, let me not act like I'm
I'm
perfect because
not,
you just said
girl.
I'm not, we're not. But out of office, I really try to make
Yeah.
sure that I set that just because I feel like even though, the whole point of not replying, we know to do that, right? But
Mhm.
there's also guilt. There's entrepreneurship guilt, entrepreneur guilt
Yes.
of but maybe just this once.
Yep.
Having that out of office reply kind of takes that burden away. Like,
Mhm.
okay, hey, they may email me, whoever this person is, could be a team member, could be a brand partner, client, whoever, and they
Mhm.
automatically see that. So there's no question. Oh, they're out of the
Yes.
office. Here's the message that you can customize, I can customize, and they get it. So some of those things, I would say those two things are the primary methods that work for me. And then here's the thing, just don't reply.
Mhm. Period.
like we
Period.
are not obligated to reply. Y'all,
Oh
just you know what I'm
my gosh.
saying? Be out of office. Live your best
Ah,
life because you need a rest.
yes. I love that for us. Like, you just don't have to reply. Like,
You don't.
period.
At
Like,
the end of the day,
because think about how many times people do that to you and you're wondering,
listen.
dang, I sent that email like a week ago and I hadn't heard back just yet. Let me follow up with them. Like, no one's thinking, oh, this person is like doing something. Like you're not thinking that. You're just like, oh, they didn't respond. Like, let me follow up with them. Nobody cares. Like, just
Right.
it's fine. You cannot respond. It is okay. You don't have to be at everyone's beck and call at every single minute of the day. So,
And
yeah,
always
I same
consider
here.
too, with that being said, Brie, is like
Hmm.
never take it personal. I mean, you never know what
Yes.
people are going through. You do not know
Mhm.
what people are going through. So never take a not getting a reply right away or in the time
Yeah.
frame that you prefer
Yes.
personal.
Oh, that's such a good point. Yeah, because when you're on the flip side, it's like, and that's I know for me, I'm like, oh, especially if I get a response that like an auto response, like they're out of office. Oh, okay, yeah, they're out of office. They'll get back to this whenever they get back in. So
Period.
I totally agree with that. Give people grace, y'all. Stop being so stressed about not getting a response because it's
Yes.
not that serious.
At all.
Relax. So, yeah, I think for me too, like going back to rhythms, even if you aren't someone that sets up some of those things, maybe you don't have the technology or whatever, like you can still set your own boundaries, right? Like if that's on your own personal phone, Uma already mentioned putting your phone on do not disturb and stuff like that. Like utilize whatever you do have access to help yourself to put things in perspective and put your boundaries in place because it
Yeah.
can be hard to keep those boundaries if there's nothing in place at all. But, maybe you are somebody that's like, oh, I'm not going to respond after this day or like this time or whatever. Like, you have to establish what that's going to be for you and making sure that you're putting into place. Like, I know one thing that I ended up doing, especially as I started, like the kids started getting a little older and
Yeah.
things started to get more busy for us in our business. I started moving all of my client sessions to Thursdays
Mm.
versus seeing them all throughout the week. I was like, wait a minute, I can't carve out this time to pour into my clients and like dedicate hours upon hours to
Right.
do consultations every day of the week. Like, that I'm not in that season of my
Yeah.
life. So
Right.
I had to carve out Thursdays specifically for clients, and maybe that for those of y'all who are listening, that might look different for you. That could be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever you set your
Yeah.
schedule to be, but you can always carve out specific times to do specific things based off of where you're at in the season of your life. And sometimes that helps you too to just protect your peace and not
Oh
feel
yeah.
so overwhelmed and stressed like, oh, I've got a client call. Like, let me make sure the kids are, taken care of and things. Nah, like carve
Yeah.
out specific time for things that are maybe going to require a little more of your attention. And
Right.
that can help too, just in the long run.
100%. I can't agree with that more. I mean, I think also for those getting started, it can seem like it's just all just mixed together. You don't know where to start, like how to be able to block out, okay, this is my time for seeing clients and this is my time for
Hmm.
doing administration time. I mean, definitely have admin time because it's going to
Hmm.
get harder
Yep.
and harder. Like we've said in previous episodes, how you start is really going to set the pace and the flow of how things go for you. So just start off with setting those standards in terms of your schedule, what days you're going to see clients, what days you're going to do admin work, what days you're going to rest. And
Yes.
the whole idea of hustle, hustle, grind hard at the beginning because it's going to pay off. Well, understand that to a degree, but you
Mhm.
can still work hard and get great results while achieving and prioritizing balance.
Yes.
And that'll just help you as you continue to evolve and your business grows and make that part of your SOPs. I definitely tell my
Hmm.
team, speaking on that, hey, like, don't reach out to me on the weekends. I won't reach out to you on
Yeah.
the weekends. Now, sometimes
Yeah.
do we mess up? Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
far and few between. And
Hmm.
definitely encourage them to make sure that they're prioritizing work life balance. So let
Yeah.
that just make
No,
that
that's
part of your
good.
work culture, your business culture.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
good. And you mentioned too, when you're carving out those hours to do specific things, task management, right? Like project
Yes.
management system or task management systems or like to-do lists or whatever can come in very handy during this time because if you're somebody that you're listening to this and you're like, okay, well, I can carve this time, but like how do you actually get things done? Well, you have to know what you're supposed to be doing during those times. So, like,
Right.
if you don't have any list tracking your task or a to do list or something to where you say, okay, when I have this admin time, these are the things that I need to be doing. Or like when I'm seeing clients, this is the schedule I follow, or these are the tasks that I follow with each client to ensure that I've got my notes done, or whatever is
Yeah.
required for your specific specialty. So, make sure you
Yeah.
have, we use ClickUp. Like I've used Asana before, I
Asana's
don't know
good.
what, Asana is good. Like there's so many out there, y'all. Like we can go through tech all day, but
Yeah.
that's something else that can be helpful.
Yeah, definitely utilize what you need. I mean, it's going to look different for everyone, but task management is definitely great, especially for those, again, referring to those starting out. I mean, it's really going to take
Mhm.
all of that brain decision making work out of your head. Once you can get it out of your head and put it somewhere to where you see it, it makes all the difference.
Mhm.
What are your communication boundaries that you have in place? I know for me, something that I do with my clients in my EMR is I have an autoresponder. So
Mhm.
an automatic, once they send a message to me, hey, thank you so much for your message. I'll reply back to you. He'll reply back to me within
Yep.
1 to 2 business days.
Yeah.
So do you have anything like that in place? Do you have anything that you do with your team as well? Like what
Mhm.
does that look like for you?
Yeah. So normally, like if I'm out of office, I put my autoresponder on. I have tried the autoresponder during the week too, but then my hours started changing so
Yeah.
randomly. So I started implementing my own boundaries, such as like, okay, after 5 p.m., I'm not responding to any client messages.
Oh
One,
yeah.
also making sure it stays in the EMR because,
Woo.
I made the mistake of not starting with some clients in the EMR and listen, you don't want them having your cell phone number. I love y'all if you're listening to this, but like it needs to be in the EMR. One, to protect
Yeah.
their information. Two, to protect you and your privacy. Like it's just important keeping it in the EMR because then you can control how often or when you respond to things. So for me, after 5, I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
On the weekends, I'm not touching it. So I
At
try to
all.
only respond during normal people business working hours, like not entrepreneur working hours, because we know that can be from like 5 a.m. to like 12 a.m. or
Listen.
beyond. So I try to keep responses within normal business hours and not on the weekends, just for my own sanity.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it has to be, period.
Mhm.
Like, and the more that you step outside of those boundaries, the more people will continue to reach out to you outside of the boundaries
Yes.
you set. So just
Yes.
make sure y'all that if you set those boundaries, you stay true to them. You don't
Mhm.
waver, right? Unless it's a true
Yes.
emergency, stick to it because that sets the tone and that sets the
Yes.
expectation, and people know that
Mhm.
you're serious and that you're about your business.
Ooh-wee. Oh, that's
Okay.
listen, that part,
Okay.
and tell your clinicians or anybody else that's working with you, because I know I had a situation, one of my clinicians, she came to me and she's like, man, like this client is really expecting a lot of communication through, our EMR. And I said, well, okay, tell me about like, how are the conversations going? Like what type of questions are being asked? And I realized that these are questions that really belong inside of a one-to-one session.
Oh, yes.
And,
Yes, 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 yes.
that's something like as a business owner, if you have other people working, you might have to explain to them
Yeah.
how to set boundaries because they might not have had that experience before, but
Yeah.
you have to establish boundaries with the clients. Like you have to tell them, hey,
Yeah.
would love to discuss this. Let me take a note of this so that we can chat about it during our next one-to-one session. Oh, you don't have one scheduled. Can I get you scheduled for follow up so we can talk about this in depth? Like these are things
Yes.
that you have to make sure you're equipped with, or if you have people working for you, they're equipped with too, because it is very easy to blur the lines of communication
Yes.
with clients and they will take a mile if you give them an inch. So you got to make sure
Yeah.
you establish those boundaries.
Absolutely. And, for those of us, all of us in the sports, fitness, wellness, nutrition space, we are not therapists, right, by trade, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of that counseling that we do naturally
Yep.
provide. And sometimes those messages that we receive from our clients are a little bit more dip and dabbling into that. So, to your
Yeah.
point, make sure that you say, okay, hey, thank you for letting me know this. This is something we can definitely address at your next session. And if it
Mhm.
starts to appear to be urgent, hey, see if there's a way that you could schedule and fit them into your schedule sooner, right? But
Yes.
to your point, that's just not a non-negotiable to me. And in the terms of the phone number, there are HIPAA compliant platforms like
Mhm.
Zoom Workspace that allow you to have an actual work phone number, work line that you
Yes.
can actually communicate with your client inside
Mhm.
of the app. So if that is something that you guys are looking for, definitely look into Zoom Workspace or some other
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
applications.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. And, I feel like one last thing is, and you mentioned this earlier, like, it's not about being busy all the time. It's not about always like chasing and hustling. I read a book before, it was probably a year back, and it was called To Hell with the Hustle.
Mm,
And it
man,
was really good. And it just was talking about how like we put so much value in the hustle and the building of this and going after that. And as entrepreneurs, you're an entrepreneur for a reason because you have that natural drive to go
right,
after, to build, to create something special. Like it's innate, it's in you, right?
right,
But that's not who you are, right? Like that's not your
right,
worth. It's not a matter of like, oh, if I don't have clients all day, that I'm not making money or I'm not,
right,
being a good CEO or whatever. Like that's so far from the truth. Like you have to really put your value in who you really are, not your business, not like how
right.
busy you are. Like you have to understand where your value is, but it's certainly not in the hustle.
I agree. And busy doesn't necessarily equate to productive, right?
Ooh.
Like
Mhm.
that is such a lie.
Yeah.
Right? The
Exactly.
the work hard, play hard, grinding all day,
Yeah.
all gas, no breaks mentality. Like that's not it.
It's not.
You do need breaks, okay? Pump them.
Period. Pump 'em.
You know what
Stop.
I mean? Because yeah, again, we're not created to just go 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 go.
Yeah.
Because eventually something's going to happen. You're going to snap, you're going to get sick, or in
Mhm.
some worst cases,
Mm-mm.
hey, things happen, right? Just heard a story
Yes.
recently on the news and all over social media about someone working themselves literally into their, untimely death. So it's
Yeah.
really important to
Mm.
make sure that we understand that being busy doesn't equal being productive, and like you said, that is not our identity, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
become entrepreneurs so that we can have flexibility, we can have freedom,
Exactly.
and not being able to rest is does not fit that,
Yeah.
that vibe, that vision.
Yeah.
So
Totally
yeah, I
agree.
mean, what are some things that you would say that you're maybe still trying to navigate when it comes to work life balance? Right? Like some things that you may be struggling with. Cause like, listen, I know I have a
Gosh.
list.
Listen, I have one too. We told y'all from the beginning, we're not perfect, okay? I would like the one thing that stands out to my mind, and I'm sure you can relate, but you know how you kind of get into a groove working on a project and you're just like going, right? You're finally in that creative mode. And you're like, yes, I'm getting things done. I'm checking it off. And then like the clock strikes the time that you said you were going to
Yes,
close your
girl.
computer and go like be with the kids or like, dude, y'all, I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is when you're in that mode,
In the
like
zone.
you're in the zone and the clock strikes and you're like, uh-oh, but I got, like, I need to do, and it's,
Yes,
or when you're racing, you mentioned it, like you're racing against a deadline clock and you're like, shoot, I got to get
man.
this over. Maybe like this quote is due for this magazine article or
Yes.
publication. Or like, oh, I said I would have this over to so and so by this time,
Yeah.
still staying committed to the boundaries that you said. I'm not saying there's not room for flexibility, but what I am saying is you shouldn't always be like treading the line of, oh, I'm pushing the flexibility here. Like I'm always overstepping
Yes.
the boundaries I set for myself. And that's been really hard for me because I have to tell myself, all right, well, you did that yesterday and you ended up working 2 hours past the time that you said you wanted, or whatever,
Mhm.
or you stayed up till 1 a.m. when you said you were supposed to be
Listen,
asleep at 10. And here you are cranky in the
that
morning. Now the
part.
kids are yelling, and so are you, so
Everybody's
it's just
upset.
everybody mad. And so it's just bad. So,
That is so real. That
oh
is so
gosh.
real. And all I have to say is I'm feeling that because summer, right? Like
Mhm.
nobody is on the regular structure and routine, so we're all just
Yeah.
trying to make it, right?
Yep.
And for me it's kind of like get it in where I fit it in because,
Mhm.
they grow up so fast. I want to
Yeah.
be a part of these fun moments of, oh my gosh, let's turn the water hose on and just laugh for no reason and make
Yeah.
puddles. You know what I mean? But at the
Exactly.
same time it's
Exactly.
like oh gosh, I need to actually get some work done also. So
Yes.
yeah, I definitely can relate to that. I think for me, with that being said, struggling to unplug is definitely is it's just tough
Yeah.
because you go all day, we're working, we're going through all these deadlines. I know for me, I have this like visual, like, did I checklist tech, like, did I
Yep.
check off all the boxes?
Mhm.
And even when I do want to wind down, my brain doesn't.
Yes.
it's
Ah,
like
jeez.
it's like body's like,
It's the
listen, let's be
worst.
out cold, but
Yes,
brain's like,
exactly. Yeah.
like, and I'm like, "Can y'all connect, please?"
Yeah.
So I know
Oh my
there's definitely
gosh.
some things that work for me, whether it's like reading, praying,
Mhm.
really trying to be better, y'all. I struggle about not being on my phone, not being on a device of some sort because
Yes.
you want to scroll, you kind of want to have that time to yourself
Yep.
that you haven't had all day. And so that definitely is a struggle for me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the device, girl. I listen, I'm on a fast now because of that. Like
I
I've
get it.
literally like I was like, okay, boundaries. But I think something else that we've been trying to get you all to understand too, like listeners, is that we're not perfect
Right.
and there's gonna be times where it's gonna feel smooth and it's gonna feel great. There's gonna be times where it doesn't feel that way. But give yourself grace. Like you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. There's going to be seasons of your life where it's going to be harder. There's going to be
Right.
seasons where you might be pouring into one category a little bit more than the other. Like
Yes.
we're not going to be able to have it all the time. So yes, there are going to be some times where you drop the ball in some areas. But like
Yes.
again, you're human and the fact that you care shows the type of person you are, right? Like if you didn't
Yes.
care, that would be different, but like you care and you're listening to this episode because you care and you want to create that time and those boundaries and for the things that are most important for you. So remember that in the middle of it all, even when it's messy and when you feel, oh my gosh, I can't get anything done, like remind yourself I'm human. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't feel like this. So what are some
Yes.
things I can do? You know what I mean? It's going to be
Right.
all right. Give yourself some grace.
Definitely give yourself some grace, y'all. So if you're listening, you're wondering how to even get started, y'all, like, just start with 1 hour at a time, 30 minutes at a time, figure out what works for you. Like Bree said earlier, be flexible
Mhm.
because I'm gonna just tell you this right now. You're gonna pivot, you're gonna have to make
Yep.
adjustments as you go, as you get
Mhm.
busier, as you change directions in your business, the list goes on and on, you're going to have to make some changes. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? One thing I do want to mention and put out the atmosphere. So something that I started doing, gosh, 2014. And I actually learned this from a client. I got this idea from a client,
Mm.
was to, ladies and gents, it might work for you too, but take a weekend. It could be one night, 2 nights. I ended up getting a lot of my girlfriends to do this
Mhm.
little hotel getaway. Doesn't have to be far. Doesn't have to be far. Listen, it
Yes.
could be across the street from where you live. I don't care.
Mm.
Unplug. You feel like you're somewhere else when you're really not. It
Yes.
works. It
Ah, my
works. So
gosh.
just think about different things like that you
Such a
can
great
do,
idea.
because that can definitely help out too, just getting away. And
Mhm.
we don't have to earn rest, right? We just
Yep.
have to take it. We
Take it.
deserve rest. Okay. So almost lost my mic there. A little bit of a blooper. Woohoo. But anyways, all that to say, we hope that you guys have some ideas of what work life balance looks like, the pursuit of that, how to get started with it.
Yeah.
That is all for this episode. If it resonated with you, we love for you to share it with someone who's in the thick of building a business and a life and just trying to figure it all out. Especially another woman who's doing it all and is just tired, y'all. Like she's
Mhm.
spent. And men though, because we all tired.
Yeah.
And if you figured out a boundary, a system, something that works for you, we want to hear about it. So send us a DM, tag us. Let's keep this conversation going. Pretty sure we'll have like a part 2 or part 3 of this in the
Yeah,
future for another episode.
exactly.
So yes, thanks for
Yes.
listening and we will catch you guys next time.
Hot tea.
Cheers to
Spice the
that.
tea. Cheers.